Thailand is one of the most popular countries for medical tourism in the world. Before the lockdown, about 5 million international travelers entered the kingdom to get medical procedures done. That's over 600 million US dollars entering the country from medical tourism alone. And one area of Thailand's medical tourism industry that is growing rapidly is wellness tourism. The term wellness tourism can refer to a wide range of activities. In this episode, I'll be introducing you to one of Thailand's latest wellness workshops, the Wim Hof Method workshop, which is a method that combines breathing exercises, cold therapy, and commitment. It's a workshop that claims to give you all the tools you need to take control over your own body. Is it really good for you, or is it just a hype? Let's find out together in this episode. And I am here at the Breathe-inspired facility to do my first time ever Wim Hof Method workshop. And I'm not here alone, I'm here with 9 other Thaiger members. I'm pretty excited. There's a sauna, there's a pool, there's obviously huge ice baths. Oh, I can't wait for it to start. Follow me. But before we get into the workshop, let's become acquainted with the Wim Hof Method from the owners themselves, Kun Stuart and Kun Gam.
So the Wim Hof Method is made up of 3 components: breathwork, cold exposure and mindset. And it's all combined, and the combination of them helps to build the mind-body connection. And it's based, the foundation really works on hormesis, where we're dosing ourselves with a specific amount of stress with the breathing and the cold exposure, and then that makes us stronger. Very similar to going to the gym.
You can do it every day. It's like a gym, because you going and you keep doing is make you keep stronger, because when you finish it, you bring you back, you recover, you come back stronger. It depends on how you feel. I can't say, but I recommend to do it every day. And like the gym, you will know yourself. If you feel today I want to rest, or today I'm ready to do some training.
Sounds great, Kun Gam. Well, that day I was lucky because I felt ready to do my Wim Hof Method training. So let the workshop begin. Kun Stuart and Kun Gam started us off by briefing us on the science behind the Wim Hof Method, went through the entire list of do's and don'ts, gave us a rundown on what to expect during the workshop, and got all our questions and concerns answered during that session as well. Then we quickly transitioned over to our first session of the day, the mindset commitment activity. It started off by finding our cold threshold baseline by dipping only our hands into a bucket full of ice. And wow, for someone who takes extremely hot showers every day, sticking my bare hands inside a bucket full of ice for 3 full minutes straight was no easy feat. But I braved the cold anyways because I believed in the benefits that proper cold exposure could help with, such as the reduction of inflammation in the body, improved sleep quality, and the production of endorphins, which are the feel-good chemicals in the brain that naturally elevates your mood. And after learning some techniques on how to breathe to cope with the coldness, I think I did a little bit better. Or did I? To be honest with you, I had no idea initially why I cried, but a ton of emotions just rushed out of me immediately after I pulled my hands out of the water. So I just survived my 3-minute cold exposure only on my hands, and it was such a cathartic experience. I definitely cried, as you can see in the clip here. It was definitely a happy cry because when I put my hands in the water, I was really stressed from the cold, but also just from the overwhelming sensations of people around me. I heard somebody say they can't do it anymore, and then I heard people pulling their hands out of the ice. I heard somebody saying that they're dizzy, they want to faint, they feel sick. So the psychological and also the physical pain was overwhelming me. But luckily I stayed in there throughout the whole 3 minutes using the techniques that they taught us. And I'm very happy that it happened. But hey, I'm not the only one who broke down during the cold exposure. Apparently, it's quite common for people to feel emotional. Even big Englishmen can cry too. Am I right, Kun Stuart?
And as you've experienced, the cold allows us to bring our awareness internal, and our breathing energizes our body. And the effect it can help with people who are depressed, anxiety. It can also be cathartic, help people to release emotions. And everyone's different, so when people practice a method, at the end of the day, it's going to make you feel good.
We sure felt good and accomplished by the end of that first session. I'm not sure how many calories we burnt through the 3 minutes cold exposure therapy, but everyone seemed extremely hungry afterwards. Luckily, the breathe-inspired facility was well stocked up on healthy snacks to munch on while we were telling each other's experiences. A great bonding experience with the group indeed. Heading on to the second portion of the Wim Hof Method, the breathing technique. Kun Gam led the breathing workshop and helped us loosen up with some yoga moves before going into the more advanced exercises that were designed to manipulate and heighten oxygen levels. This specialized Wim Hof breathing technique claims that participants will have more energy, reduced stress levels, and an augmented immune response that can help deal with pathogens. Skeptical about the claims, I asked how my colleagues felt after doing the breathing session.
I felt like I was in a deep meditative state. Like usually I'm always thinking, my brain is always thinking something about the past or the future or what I'm going to do next, but I felt like I wasn't thinking at all, like I was just breathing, not using my thoughts.
I feel like, like everything was so quiet. I feel like I'm in the water and I feel like I stopped breathing for a while, and like Stuart sound wake me up, like that kind of stuff.
So you felt like you were dozing off a little bit?
Yeah, like I was like lost, like, oh, where am I? Like that kind of stuff.
I've never experienced anything like this before. I felt like I was floating. And okay, it makes me emotional, but I was thinking about my late grandmother for some reason. And then like the second, third round, I felt like I was getting closer to her for some reason. It was very emotional, but in a thankful way, like in a like gratitude way. And I feel like, yeah, it's just like incredible. Yeah.
Did you tear a little bit?
Yeah, like in the second, third, I was tearing up, and then fourth, I'm like, like I was already like, blah. My mind wasn't thinking much anymore, and I was just like, I felt like I was floating.
Me too.
It's weird, right?
I felt like I couldn't really feel my body.
Yeah,
And my
right.
hands were lifting upwards.
Yeah.
Almost like a euphoric feeling in your body.
Yeah.
It is.
At one point, I think it's because of the background music. Like I felt like I was flying.
So I guess the consensus is that at one point in time, we all felt like we were floating and drifting off into thin air. And the ultimate test of the day, the dreading ice bath session. This last step is the foundation of the other two, both mindset and conscious breathing. Being a bit apprehensive at this point, I thought I could draw some inspiration from Kun Gam herself. I wanted to know what drew her into the Wim Hof's cold therapy.
I decided to do it when the COVID happened, and I just like, I can't go out, I can't teach yoga, I can't meet my friend, and I was a little bit depressed because I need to be at home. Normally I have to do a lot of activity, and I feel depressed, I feel sad, sometimes I feel angry, I don't know, like emotional, really coming to me, I'm so sensitive. And then he just saying, just do the ice, because I'm practicing breathing already. And then when I do the ice, it's just like bring me back to like, oh, it make me feel great, I like this so much. And I decided to do the 100 days in a row, like you see. And after that, I really love it. And then it changed me so much in the good way. And I'm thinking, if it's helped me, it will help people too. And I just want to decide to do like, be the instructor that can teach people in Thailand.
Wow, she liked it so much she actually became a certified instructor. With her confidence and conviction, I'm sold. Time for me to try it out for myself. Not gonna lie, it took me a hot minute to muster up the courage to get inside there, but once I was in, there was no backing out. But armed with focus and determination, I took one last puff of air and was ready to plunge in the deep end to conquer my own body and mind. If you're wondering how long we were in there for, we're in there for 2 full long minutes, twice. That's 4 minutes in total.
Inhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. เก่งมากลอง
guys, I did it. In fact, all 10 of us did and remained inside the tub for the full 4 minutes. Okay, time to go into the sauna. I deserve it. Hi, girls. Hi. For people who didn't fancy going inside the sauna, they also have a huge pool for you to warm down in. And that is a wrap for the Wim Hof Method workshop. Now, if I had to give a rating before, during, and after, here are the ratings. So how I would rate before is how easy it was to follow the program and if there were any preparations that were needed. And for that, I would give the Wim Hof Method a 5-star rating because there were no real preparations that you needed to do prior to coming to the facility. You only had to bring a towel, swimsuit, and fresh pair of clothes to change back into. For during, I would judge it from how easy it was to follow the instructions from the instructors and whether or not the journey was pleasant or not. And for that, I would have to give it a 4 stars out of 5 because although the instructors Stuart and Kun Gam did an excellent job in explaining everything to us both in Thai and English and were there throughout the whole process of breathing, even though some of us wanted to quit, it was really tough mentally for me to tune out all the external noises of people in the group who wanted to bail. But luckily, it was also the determination of other strong-willed people that got me going, even though I nearly quit myself a couple of times as well. And for the after portion, would I do it again? Now at first, I was about to give it a 3 stars rating, mainly because I didn't want to go through the whole entire training process from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. again. But then I heard Kun Stuart said that we can actually choose to do only the breathing and or ice baths alone at a different price point. So now my score has gone up to 4 stars. And in case you're wondering how often we should be doing the Wim Hof Method after learning about these techniques, I'll let Kun Stuart and Kun Gam answer that for us.
So the breathing, you can do it every day. That's very easily controllable, how you do the breathing, the speed of the breathing. The cold exposure, as you've experienced, is pretty intense. So there's no need to rush doing a cold exposure. You don't need to do long duration. You don't need to do it regular. But a lot of people, once you experience the benefits, will start building up slowly. Once a week's fine, because you still get benefits after 6 days. And then you might add in another day or another 2 days. But the breathing, certainly every day.
Yeah. And you can try to start with the cold. You can start from like hand in the ice. That is get a lot of benefit already.
And there you have it. Simple tools that we could immediately start using at home. All in all, I had a wonderful time at the Breathe Inspired facility here with my colleagues. We learned where our cold tolerance threshold was. We also learned some life-changing breathing techniques. We had some emotions released, but most importantly, we walked out of there with a changed mindset, knowing that we could do anything if we put our minds to it. And that alone to me is a good enough reason to try the Wim Hof Method. Now, even though wellness programs are a long-term investment and it's hard to measure success in just one session, I'd say live a little and give it a go. And once you do, let us know in the comments if you find it beneficial for you as well. Until next time, stay well and stay tuned for next week's wellness treatment.